We hear stories in the news all too often. Springfield, Missouri. An African-American male accompanied by a white female is stabbed in a Denny's restaurant. Oxnard, California. An 8th grader who recently admitted he was gay is murdered by his classmate. And there's the example in Washington, D.C., where a security guard for the Holocaust Museum was gunned down by an anti-Semite. Sometimes these cases may be easier to forget if they don't happen in our community. But stories of intolerance can and do happen in our own backyard, even if we're not immediately aware of them. Fortunately, one organization is doing something about it. The Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities conducts programs that promote understanding and respect on all issues of diversity, for all age groups, all across Virginia.
The Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities was founded in 1935 as the Virginia region of NCCJ, the National Conference of Christians and Jews. And throughout our history, the focus has been on interfaith understanding. But very quickly, using Jewish and Christian principles, the leaders of the organization decided that we couldn't just be working on one particular topic. We saw racial injustice, we had to be addressing those issues. When we saw bias in sexism in the workplace, we had to be addressing that. And so we take that history, our historic roots as NCCJ, and today we work on all issues of diversity for all age groups all across Virginia as the Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities.
Each year, the Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities conducts educational programs, conferences, retreats, and workshops which cover a wide variety of topics, including conflict resolution, respecting diversity, team building, and leadership development. But what kind of real-world impact do these programs achieve? Do they really make a difference? For adults, we found these programs have a profound effect on their lives. Employers tell us when their employees really start to feel like they're a part of the team, it translates into them working harder, staying later, and volunteering to take on leadership roles. But the impact also stretches beyond the workplace. They become better parents, better neighbors, and even better citizens.
So if in the workplace we are able to practice and promote inclusion and diversity as part of what we believe in and what we expect of our employees in the day-to-day work, that we will also go out to our margins, the hours before work, the sideline time, the lunch conversations, the hours after work, and we will not only have done that during our workday, but we will practice those same beliefs and attitudes in the margins of what I think our day-to-day lives are all about.
But perhaps the audience with the most potential for far-reaching change is the school system.
When young people are part of events and organizations that allow them to look at how do we build a community in our school, how do we help all kids feel like they're a part of school, and young people really want to be a part in leading that effort in their school, and the Center for Inclusive Communities really teaches young people how to do that.
We see statistically that there's less violence, there's less absenteeism. They tend to be able to affect the whole culture of the school, and I think it's a win-win situation, not only for that student individually, but for the impact they have on the whole school community and therefore the whole community at large. I think this program and programs like it make better citizens, and everybody's going to benefit when you're able to create better citizens.
It was probably the single best thing I've ever done as an educator, and anyone who works with children needs to be exposed to this program.
There's no program that I am aware of in Virginia that is like this. It gives everyone that's involved in the program just an outlook that they don't get anywhere else. I believe it's so valuable to society as a whole.
I think it's great. I'm really appreciating what they're doing. I think the goals they are setting for us are really feasible, and that we're actually getting something done here.
Change isn't coming as fast as we want it to come, but it's coming, it's happening, and it takes more than just one to make change, but it starts as an individual. It has to start with us trying to help other people, getting ourselves in order first before we try to help other people.
The organization, the VCIC, does an excellent job, is very effective. The money that's raised for us stays here in Virginia, and most of the money that we raise goes to our programming. We touch literally tens of thousands of people, And I can't think of a better bang for the buck than that.
I really think our work is an investment in the future. It's in some ways a leap of faith, but it very much is driven by data. It's driven by best practices that we've seen when we go in and we help a community, that people respect each other, that people are less judgmental, that people work together more effectively, that we move from the presence of diversity, which is just seeing differences, to actual inclusion, where people get along, where people communicate effectively, where people are able to maximize the potential that diverse perspectives and worldviews bring. And so our communities are stronger because more voices are at the table. And it's our work with students that really is the investment in the future, but it's our work with adults that helps us to ensure that today and the present, we're also making a real difference.
Whether it's religion that tells us we're our brother's keeper, or lessons we're taught at home like the Golden Rule, or the great principles of our democratic nation, we know that our core values compel us to include and value all people. The Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities work helps us to achieve these highest of ideals. And in doing so, we're making our community a better place to learn, work, and live.